adding and subtracting fractions with different denominators. In this nugget, the learning objective is to add and subtract fractions with different denominators. In the fractions 1/4 and 3/12, the denominators are 4 and 12. Let's start with two fractions with the same denominator of 4. These fractions are represented by a model. As the denominators are the same, we can simply add the numerators to find the new fraction. 1 add 2 equals 3, so 1/4 add 2/4 equals 3/4. You can see 3/4 represented in the model. Now let's look at subtraction. When subtracting 1/6 from 5/6, all we have to do is take away 1 from 5. This is because the denominators are the same. We get an answer of 4/6. This is represented by the model. But what happens when the fractions have different denominators? In this case, we need to add 2/6 to 1/2, but we can't do that while the denominators are different, so we need to make them the same. Let's convert 1/2 into 6. To make the denominator of 2 into 6, multiply 2 by 3. We then need to multiply the numerator by the same number. 1 times 3 equals 3, so we get an equivalent fraction, 2/2 of 3/6. We can see that these are equivalent by looking at the model, where 1/3 can be split to represent 3/6. Now that the denominators are the same, we can add the fractions. We simply add the numerators together and leave the denominator the same. 2 add 3 equals 5, so 2/6 add 3/6, or half, equals 5/6. Now let's try subtraction. Once again, if the denominators are different, we need to convert one of the fractions so that they both have the same denominator. Let's convert 2/4 into 8ths. To change the denominator of 4 into 8ths, multiply the numerator by 2. 2 times 2 equals 4, so the equivalent fraction to 2/4 is 4/8. Now that we have two fractions with the same denominator, we can subtract to find the answer. Simply subtract the numerators and leave the denominator the same. 4 minus 1 equals 3, so 4/8 minus 1/8 equals 3/8. Now it's your turn. Add both sets of fractions. Pause the video and have a go. Now let's check the answers. For the first question, well done if you remembered to convert one of the fractions in order to make both of the denominators the same. You should have converted 1/3 into 9ths by multiplying the denominator and the numerator by 3. 1 times 3 equals 3, so the equivalent fraction to 1/3 is 3/9. Your next step is to add the fractions that now have the same denominator. You should have added the numerators and left the denominator the same. 3 add 4 equals 7, so 3/9 add 4/9 equals 7/9. For the second question, once again you needed to convert one of the fractions to make the denominators the same. You should have converted 1/3 into 12ths by multiplying the denominator of 3 by 4 to get 12, and then multiplying the numerator of 1 by 4 to get 4. This gives an equivalent fraction of 1/3 to 4/12. Now it's time to subtract. Well done if you remembered to simply subtract the numerators and leave the denominators the same. 9 take away 4 equals 5, so 9/12 take away 4/12 equals 5/12. So remember, convert the fractions so that they both have the same denominator. When doing this, make sure you multiply the denominator and the numerator by the same amount. Next, add or subtract the numerators. Keep the denominators the same.